Listen carefully, my precious child, because what I'm about to share with you carries the weight of eternity and the tenderness of a love that has pursued you through every dark valley and lonely night you've ever walked through. Right now, in this exact moment, something extraordinary is unfolding in the invisible realm that surrounds your life, and I desperately need you to slow down, quiet the noise that constantly bombards your mind, and truly hear what's being spoken directly into the deepest part of your soul. You didn't arrive at this message by accident or random chance. The path that brought you here was carefully orchestrated by a divine hand that knows every tear you've cried in secret, every prayer you've whispered when hope felt like a cruel joke, every moment you wanted to quit but somehow found the strength to take just one more step. Think about that for a second and let it really sink in. Before you even woke up this morning, before you made the series of small decisions that led you to this exact place at this exact time, there was already a plan in motion to encounter you here, to speak truth into the confusion you've been carrying, to breathe hope into the exhaustion that's been weighing you down. I know you've been through things that nearly broke you, experiences that left scars on your heart that you're not sure will ever fully heal. I know there have been nights when sleep wouldn't come because the worries circling in your mind felt too heavy to lay down. I know there have been mornings when you opened your eyes and immediately felt that crushing weight of dread about facing another day that looks too much like all the difficult days that came before it. I know you've had moments where you questioned whether any of this matters, whether your struggles have purpose, whether anyone truly sees what you're going through or cares about the battles you fight in silence. But here's what I need you to understand with every fiber of your being. You have been seen. Every single moment of your pain, every sacrifice that went unnoticed by human eyes, every time you chose kindness when you felt like giving up, every instance where you held on to faith by your fingernails when everything around you screamed that you were a fool for still believing, none of it was wasted, none of it was meaningless. All of it has been weaving together into something so beautiful, so purposeful, so precisely designed for your unique journey that when you finally see the complete picture, you'll fall to your knees in absolute wonder at how perfectly everything was working together, even when it felt like everything was falling apart. There's something powerful happening in this season we're walking through together, and I need you to grasp the significance of it, because your awareness of what's available right now will determine how much you're able to receive. We're living in days that carry a special grace, a unique anointing, a concentrated outpouring of divine favor that doesn't come around all the time. As this year moves toward its final chapter, as the world around you gets caught up in the frenzy of celebration and obligation, heaven has been creating a sacred space for those who have ears to hear and hearts that are hungry for genuine transformation rather than temporary distraction. This isn't about getting caught up in religious tradition or superstitious thinking about certain times of year being lucky. This is about understanding that there are rhythms built into the fabric of creation, appointed seasons when the supernatural presses closer to the natural, the moments when the veil between heaven and earth grows thin and miracles stop being distant stories and become living realities for those who are positioned to receive them. Throughout all of human history, there have been specific times when ordinary people experienced extraordinary encounters with divine power, when the faithful who had been waiting and believing suddenly saw promises manifest that they'd almost given up hope of ever seeing fulfilled. My beloved, you are living in such a time right now, and the fact that you're reading these words is evidence that something inside your spirit recognized it, even if your natural mind doesn't fully understand it yet. As December unfolds with all its unique energy and significance, particularly for those who hold this month as sacred in their spiritual tradition, there's a door of opportunity standing wide open for breakthrough, for miracles, for divine intervention in situations that have seemed impossible. But here's the beautiful mystery I want you to really take hold of. The power of this season isn't locked to specific dates on a calendar. The grace that's available isn't limited to people who happen to encounter this message during certain weeks. No, the real truth is that whenever you encounter divine truth with a sincere heart, that moment becomes your appointed time, your personal intersection with the miraculous, your own sacred season of transformation. So whether you're reading this in the middle of December and feeling that double portion of favor because you've aligned with both the spiritual season and the calendar season, or whether you're reading this months from now and discovering that genuine faith creates its own climate of breakthrough regardless of what month it happens to be, I'm declaring over you right now that this is your moment. Heaven has been preparing you for this encounter. Your struggles haven't been random. Your pain hasn't been purposeless. Every single thing you've walked through has been developing something inside you that you're going to need for where you're about to go. And the fact that you've survived everything meant to destroy you is proof that you're marked for something significant. Can I tell you what I see when I look at your life through spiritual eyes? I see someone who has been in a season of intense preparation without fully understanding what you were being prepared for. I see someone who has developed strength in hidden places, who has been building spiritual muscle in the secret struggles that no one knew about, who has been growing in ways that aren't visible yet but are about to become undeniably obvious. I see all those closed doors that frustrated you, all those rejected applications that discouraged you, all those relationships that ended and left you feeling abandoned. And here's what most people miss about those painful experiences. They weren't punishment. They weren't evidence that you're cursed or forgotten. They were divine protection, strategic positioning, careful orchestration to get you to exactly this place at exactly this time so you'd be ready for what's about to be released into your life. Because here's what's true, precious one. What's coming next in your journey would have destroyed the person you used to be. The opportunities that are about to open would have overwhelmed you if they'd come earlier. The resources that are about to flow toward you would have been wasted if you hadn't first learned what you needed to learn in the wilderness season. The connections that are about to form would have been toxic if you hadn't first discovered your worth and developed your boundaries. The platform you're about to step onto would have corrupted you if you hadn't first been humbled in obscurity. Every single delay that frustrated you was actually loving protection. Every single detour that confused you was actually divine redirection. Every single loss that broke your heart was actually strategic removal of what couldn't go with you into your next chapter. Now I want to shift something in your understanding because there's a key that unlocks everything I'm about to tell you, and if you miss this part, you'll struggle to receive the fullness of what's being offered. The breakthrough you've been praying for, the miracle you've been believing for, the transformation you've been desperately needing doesn't primarily happen in your circumstances first. It happens in your inner world first. It begins with a shift in how you see things, a change in what you believe about yourself and about divine faithfulness, a transformation in the way you think and speak and carry yourself through life. Too many people are waiting for their external situation to change while refusing to do the internal work that makes them ready to sustain that external change. Let me paint a picture that might help this make sense. Imagine someone who's been living in poverty their entire life, whose mind has been shaped by lack and scarcity and survival thinking, suddenly winning millions in a lottery. Studies have shown that the vast majority of lottery winners end up broke within a few years, often worse off than they were before. Why? Because you can put money in someone's hand, but if you haven't first changed their mindset, if you haven't transformed their relationship with resources, if you haven't developed their character to handle abundance, they'll sabotage their own blessing. They'll make decisions that destroy what was given to them because their internal capacity hasn't caught up with their external opportunity. This is why divine wisdom doesn't just hand you everything you've asked for the moment you ask for it. It's not because heaven is stingy or enjoys watching you suffer. It's because genuine love wants to give you blessings that last, breakthroughs that stick, transformations that fundamentally alter the trajectory of your entire life, rather than just temporarily making things easier. And that kind of sustainable breakthrough requires internal preparation first. It demands that you let go of old ways of thinking that kept you small. It asks you to release limiting beliefs that convinced you that struggle was your permanent identity. It calls you to forgive people who wounded you so their dysfunction doesn't poison your future. It requires you to break agreements with fear and step into courage, even when your hands are shaking. So right now, in this sacred moment, I'm going to ask you to do something that might feel uncomfortable but is absolutely necessary if you want to walk into everything that's been prepared for you. I need you to get honest with yourself about what you're still holding on to that you know needs to be released. You know what it is. That voice inside you has been whispering about it for a while now. Maybe it's a relationship that's been draining the life out of you, someone who takes constantly but never gives, who criticizes your dreams and diminishes your worth. Maybe it's a habit you've been excusing, an addiction you've been hiding, a pattern of behavior that brings temporary relief but long-term destruction. Maybe it's an offense you've been nursing, a grudge you've been feeding, bitterness towards someone who hurt you that's been poisoning your own soul while leaving them completely unaffected. Maybe it's a fear that's been controlling your decisions, keeping you locked in a comfort zone that's become a prison, whispering lies about all the terrible things that will happen if you take a risk. Whatever it is, I want you to make a decision right now to let it go. Not tomorrow after you think about it more. Not next week when it feels easier. Not someday when you're finally strong enough. Right now, this very moment. Because the breakthrough that's trying to reach you cannot coexist with the thing you're clinging to. Your miracle is waiting on the other side of your obedience. Your next chapter requires you to close the book on what's finished. And I promise you this, beloved. Whatever you release, whatever you let go of in obedience to that inner knowing, divine love will replace it with something infinitely better. You're not losing. You're making room. You're creating space for what actually belongs in your life. And while we're talking about letting go, there's another form of release that's absolutely critical, and that's the release of unforgiveness. I know this touches a tender place. I know that whoever wounded you caused real damage, legitimate pain that can't be minimized or dismissed. I'm not asking you to pretend it didn't hurt or to excuse what was wrong, but I am telling you that holding on to that offense is destroying you far more than it's affecting them. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. It keeps you chained to your past. It gives them continued power over your present. It blocks the flow of blessing into your future. So right now, I want you to make a choice to forgive, not for their sake, though it does affect them, primarily for your sake, because your freedom is too valuable to keep it locked to their dysfunction. Speak it out loud if you can. Say their name and say the words, I forgive you, I release you, you no longer have power over my future. Feel what happens in your spirit when you make that declaration. Notice the weight that lifts, sense the chains that break, observe the light that floods into places that have been dark. This is the beginning of your breakthrough, precious one. This internal shift, this choice to release what's been binding you, this decision to forgive what wounded you, this is what creates the atmosphere for external transformation. And I'm telling you right now, as you make these choices, as you do this internal work, heaven is responding. Angels are being dispatched, miracles are being set in motion, doors are being unlocked, resources are being released, divine connections are being formed. Your obedience in the invisible realm is creating realities in the visible realm that you'll see evidence of sooner than you think. Now let me speak to something practical, because faith without action is dead, and I don't want you to treat this like another nice message that makes you feel good temporarily but changes nothing substantially. If this word has genuinely touched your heart, if you sense that truth has been spoken into your situation, if you've received hope and clarity that has real value to you, then I want to invite you to participate in the principle of sowing and reaping. There's a way for you to sow a seed, to give something back, and I want you to know that if you choose to do that, it doesn't go into some corporate machine. It goes directly to feed hungry children who have nothing, precious little ones who go to bed with empty stomachs, and your seed is sown in their lives in your name, touching their hopelessness with your generosity. But more than that, when you give from a sincere heart, when you sow in faith believing for your own harvest, you activate a spiritual law that heaven must honor. You break the spirit of poverty. You demonstrate trust in divine provision. You create a vacuum that supernatural supply rushes to fill. The link is in the description if you feel that tug in your spirit to participate in this way. But whether you give financially or not, there's another form of generosity that costs you nothing but could change everything for someone else. If this message has brought hope to your heart, if it's spoken to something deep in your spirit, then please don't keep it to yourself. There are 11 people in your world right now who desperately need to hear this. They're losing hope. They're about to give up. They're drowning in discouragement. And you, just by sharing this with them, could literally be the instrument that saves their faith, that breathes life back into their dream, that gives them strength for one more day. Think about the power of that. You could be someone's miracle today just by taking a moment to pass this along. And if you want to seal this encounter in your spirit, if you want to mark this moment as significant in your journey, then do two simple but powerful things. First, subscribe so you stay connected to messages that feed your faith rather than your fear, that build your hope rather than your anxiety. Make that commitment to yourself to prioritize spiritual nourishment. And second, drop a comment right now. Either simply type the word Amen to declare your agreement with everything spoken here, or write out the specific thing you're believing for, the miracle you need, the breakthrough you're expecting. There's power in public declaration. There's something that shifts in the spiritual realm when you move your faith from private thought to visible expression. Go ahead and do that now. Let your comment be your stake in the ground, your line in the sand, your declaration that you're choosing faith over fear. What I want you to walk away from this encounter understanding is that you're not the same person who started reading these words. Something has shifted in your spirit. Something has awakened that was dormant. Something has been planted that's going to grow and produce fruit in your life. You're about to see evidence of this internal transformation showing up in your external circumstances. Opportunities you weren't looking for are going to find you. Resources you didn't know how to access are going to become available. People who can open doors are going to cross your path. Favor you didn't earn is going to rest on your life. And when these things start happening, and they will start happening, I want you to recognize them for what they are. They're not lucky breaks or random coincidence. They're divine response to the posture of your heart, heaven's answer to the faith you've been holding on to, supernatural reward for the internal work you've been willing to do. My beloved child, I'm speaking blessing over every area of your life right now. Your finances are about to see breakthrough. Your relationships are about to experience healing. Your health is about to know restoration. Your purpose is about to become clear. Your gifts are about to find their platform. Your voice is about to discover its audience. Your dreams are about to get fresh wind. Everything the enemy meant to destroy is about to be turned for your good. Everything you lost is about to be restored with interest. Everything that was stolen is about to be returned multiplied. This isn't hype. This isn't empty motivation. This is prophetic declaration over your life, and you're going to see it manifest because you had the faith to receive it, the courage to believe it, and the obedience to act on it. Walk forward with confidence, precious one. Your breakthrough is here. Your season has shifted. Your time has come. Receive it fully. Step into it boldly. And watch what divine love does with a surrendered heart that's willing to believe again. Amen.